Walking Blackie is the name of a blog that I created in 2006 and where I never wrote a single word. I had a dog called Blackie and I used to love walk with it around the block, observing people, paying attention to them. Were they walking their dogs? Were they walking fast or slow? Were they alone? Were they in love? You know, one can tell if someone is in love just by the way they walk. You know, they kind of float, levitate a bit above the soil. It's nice to see. One can tell a lot of things about people just by walking close to them, observing them. I also used to dream about these people's lives. Do they have families? What kind of jobs do they have? What do they do in their spare times? And I also thought about myself, my doings, my decisions to make. And I used to fantasize, to dream a lot about this. Will I be in the Toastmasters in the future one day? What should my future be? And during one of these walks, I had this idea. I should start a blog and write down all these ideas I have, these stories I create. It's the way I have to share these stories with my friends, even with everybody. Don't you think, Blackie? Oh, yeah, she agreed with me, of course. I went home and started to create this blog. Walking Blackie sounded a perfect name for me. And after creating the blog, fulfilling the information, I looked at that white screen and you know what? Big question mark. So many stories, a white screen, and which one should I write first? I didn't know. Well, I thought, and then I told myself, Cristina, why don't you go and read your story instead of writing it? Do you want to know my story? Okay. I lived in São Alentejo until I was 8. Then I came to Lisbon. I studied, and then I had to go to the university. And I had to choose. Well, I heard a kind of a magic word for me. It was like marketing, marketing. You know, the first marketing course in Portugal. New, challenging, exciting. I said, that's me. I must do this. Well, I did it. I started a career in the advertising world, working in advertising agencies, and I met David Ogilvy. You know David Ogilvy? He was the father of advertising, and I was fascinated by him. He's fantastic. His work is extraordinary, and I had the luck of getting to know him. Well, I need challenges. And after a few years of working in the advertising world, I needed another challenge. So I moved to the client side. I went to become a marketing manager in an industry. And I met someone that really fascinated me. His name was Kim Jokipi. He was a Finnish guy. And he told me something that is very simple, but yet it had an extraordinary power in my life. He told me once, Cristina, don't say no. Say, why not? And I said, why not? Yeah, and that made a huge difference in me. Okay. After a few years, why not another challenge? And I created my own company. I started to become a marketing consultant with my own company as an entrepreneur. And I met this guy, Cobus Needling. And Cobus Needling is one of the greatest person in the world in personal development. And he inspired me. And I changed. I moved from advertising to personal creativity and development consultancy. And you know what? You know about me a lot of things already. You know that I had a dog, I love to walk, I like to dream, but I'm also a doer. I like challenges. But there is one thing else I want to tell you about myself. And that thing is that my life was not an easy life. I had to fight to survive my childhood And I had to fight to survive my adolescence. And I really had to fight to survive my early adult years. But I'm a fighter. And you know, it doesn't matter how many times I fall, because I always get up and start walking with or without my Blackie.